The series finale for Loki, episode 6, is almost here, and it's time to do our last preview and predictions video for the Loki series. I've had an absolute blast with this series. I'm sad that it's almost over, but I'm pumped to see how it is going to finish. So smash that like button. Let's get right into this. And if you haven't seen any of the other episodes of Loki, we might be spoiling a few of those. How did you wander into this video? What are you doing? Get out of here. Now, at the very beginning of episode 6, at least two things are going to be established. Two separate storylines are going to be taking place. Number one, of course, we're going to be seeing Loki and Sylvie hopping through this weird portal at the end of time and meeting whomever is seemingly in charge of the TVA in all of time in that weird mansion thing. And the other thing that we're going to be following, the other storyline, is Mobius going back to the TVA and burning it down, as he says, and having a confrontation with Rovonna Renslayer. So let's start with Mobius, as I assume this is what the show will do as well, and sort of tease out the big stuff with Sylvie and Loki for the end of this video. So Mobius going back to the TVA, burning it down. One must wonder, does he have an exact plan? Is there some kind of protocol in place, something that he could do knowing about the TVA to shut it all down? Is there something like that going on? Or is he just going to go right to Rovonna and shut her down, or at least attempt to, and thereby shut down the whole TVA? Or maybe there's some kind of communication device she has where he could like inundate everybody all at one time. It's going to be very interesting. Is he going to get access to the files that she's currently looking for? And I think one of the huge questions with regards to this aspect of the story is, what's the deal with Rovonna? Is she truly ignorant of who's really in charge of the TVA? Did she really believe that the timekeepers were real? Or is she a part of this thing still playing dumb? It's kind of hard for me to tell. My gut tells me she does know who's behind all of this, and she's just trying to wrangle all of the troops and keep everything calm at the TVA. But why would she be doing that? If she knows the truth and she's also a variant, why would she be helping whoever is the person behind it all? And this is where my favorite little theory about Rovonna is coming in, and that is that she's actually a Kang variant. So I'm still keeping an eye out on that. Maybe she'll say like, oh yeah, no, I am a Nathaniel Richards variant, and he and I are in love just like Sylvie and Loki, except like we're way cooler. And we're gonna be wondering what is going on with the TVA. Like, if Mobius actually shuts it all down, is it gone forever? What does that do to the timeline? And then there's all these rumors about Loki season 2, and if those rumors are to be believed, and I do think they are accurate, well then wouldn't you want the TVA for a season 2 of Loki? So maybe Mobius takes control of it, or maybe Sylvie does, trying to just take over it in the way that originally our Loki wanted to. And the other big question here is, will Mobius survive? Will he survive his interaction with Rovonna? Will the TVA get him, prune him? Can people even die in this MCU world now? Regardless, that's going to be a very exciting thing to watch play out on the screen. I love the Mobius character. Rovonna Renslayer has grown on me, and I'm really interested in what exactly her deal is, so I'm going to be very keenly watching those scenes to see if there's anything teased out for future stuff, or perhaps they even reveal that it's Kang in those scenes, and then we cut over to Sylvie and Loki as they confront who they don't know is Kang, but we now know it because of an interaction with Rovonna. Okay, so let's talk Loki and Sylvie. And yes, I am highly anticipating Kang to be the one in that mansion. I'm really holding out hope for that. And yes, my own audience is going to mercilessly berate me if I am wrong. People are going to get, really just saying that I got bonered again, saying that all this anticipation and all this speculation is bad. Look, it's going to be really bad for me, honestly, if it's not Kang, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's probably either Kang or a version of Loki. And honestly, both of those answers are satisfying for me, but just because everybody's been so sweet and nice on the internet as I speculated about Kang. Just kidding, that's sarcasm. Y'all been a real ton of buttholes about it. Yeah, because of that, I'm really rooting for Kang. I hope Kang shows up, literally looks to the camera, takes a cigar out and says, Josh from the Den of Nerds was right. Suck on this. But just showing up is cool as well. Like, if he just shows up, that would be fantastic. I could also see it being a variant of Loki, or perhaps a Loki being controlled by Kang that was offered some kind of timeline control. There are some people on Reddit and Twitter talking about how this King Loki that we see in Asgard that everybody's bowing to, that may well be a timeline that is given to our Loki to convince him to perhaps betray Sylvie, or at least not overthrow the TVA. That's really interesting. And there's also the possibility that Sylvie betrays Loki. Remember, love is a dagger. That could be some foreshadowing there. One of these Lokis could pull a Loki and betray each other. In fact, I think if you were in love with yourself, knowing who you were and you were Loki, you'd almost expect the person that you loved to betray you. In fact, it would be uncharacteristic if they did it. And even if there's no betrayals going on in this scene, and whether or not it's Kang or Loki, one must wonder, what are they going to do? Like, how can they actually beat such a villain that had Alioth at the edge of time guarding them, a villain that convinced all these variants that they weren't actually variants, a villain this powerful with this much control? What the heck are two Lokis even going to do about this? And again, with the idea of a season 2 hanging over all of this, we expect that at least one of those two Lokis is going to survive. Perhaps it'll be Sylvie, perhaps it'll be Tom Hiddleston, perhaps it'll be both, but I actually do think one of them could die, perhaps sacrificing themselves to stop the big bad, whether it's another Loki or a Kang. And then this would lead into a season 2 where the Loki that survived will be seeking vengeance against whomever was the person that caused the death of the other Loki at the end of the show. So again, that's kind of what it's all about. And I think overall Marvel fans are just wondering, like, is this show's ending going to slap the way the rest of the show has? I mean, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I felt like both had weaker finales. Loki has been way better than those shows, in my opinion. I'm really hoping that it knocks it out of the park, brings it on home, and has an incredible finale. And I'm also looking for some possible little teases of future MCU projects. The What If show is the next thing coming up, and I think it would be sick if a variant of Loki was introduced to Uatu, or maybe you see a post-credit scene where that Loki is then in animated form in the What If world. That would be bananas. So some kind of a tie-in to What If, and perhaps even the realization that that person we thought was Peggy Carter earlier in the season was indeed Captain Carter from What If, and maybe the finale of Loki sets up the variants that we see in What If. That would be pretty cool. There's also, of course, the multiverse of madness connections with Doctor Strange and all the craziness that's coming in Spider-Man No Way Home. Many Marvel fans have speculated that the advertising and promotion for Spider-Man No Way Home has been held back until Loki is over. That there may be something at the end of the Loki series in this last episode that sets the stage for what is to come in Spider-Man No Way Home. That's an intriguing idea, lines up with a lot of the rumors that we have heard about, so that's something we're going to be keeping a keen eye out for as well. And so there you have it, guys, our preview video for the finale, the final episode, episode 6 of Disney Plus's Loki show. Love this show. We will be doing, by the way, a watch party for the show. If you're going to be staying up late to watch the finale, come over to our live streaming channel at about 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday morning, right before the episode drops. We'll chat it up live a little bit. We'll watch the episode together. Then we will talk about it. We'll also be doing breakdowns, theory videos, and other live streams where we get into the full spoilers of this finale and talk about the future of the MCU. We call it Nerd Venging, and we take it very seriously over here. So subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the live streaming channel, and get hyped, baby, because the finale of Loki is going to be awesome, and the rest of the year is full of dope Marvel and some cool Star Wars content. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.